So the other thing I wanted to just mention briefly is when we do a puja or we do a practice together, we don't do it at our own pace. Yeah. Sometimes we may look at it and feel like this is quite rigid, like in the army. No, it's not. So we do in unison. Yeah, we do in unison. And in that sense, when you do in unison, or at least the important thing is to try to do in unison, um, it's a um, direct act against our ego. Mm. Now we don't go and think too much into it. Sifu saying that I got ego. Well, even if I say so, that's true. All of us have ego. uh, if we have no ego, then we are arahant already. Unless we think that we are arahant. Yeah. But chances are, if you are discriminating and thinking, how dare Sifu say I am not arahant, then you're probably not arahant. Arahant don't care whether you think he's arahant or you know or not. Yeah, he knows that there's no more defilements, hence named arahant. Yeah, not so much that he is or not arahant. There's no he that he identify with anyway. So you notice when we do the Buddhist practices, oftentimes everything is done in unison. Yeah, chanting we chant the same verse. Yeah, you cannot say, oh, but I'm not used to this one. Not used to, then learn no. Then, but I don't like to chant this one. Like or dislike, you're supposed to transcend, so directly transcend. But how come chant so slow? Why cannot chant so slow? How come chant so fast? Why cannot chant so fast? Why must we follow Shifu? Well, have to have someone set the pace, right? If I have a choice, I would chant very fast. Yeah. Uh, so when we do the practices, uh, but whichever center we go to, we follow their pace. We follow what they chant. Yeah. Uh, we when I was in my 20s, I remember some variables after the puja or during the puja you can hear. Yeah. The venerable trying to lead the group. Then some, of course, now when we are doing Zoom, when I'm doing chanting, it's only one person. So I can't hear how you all chant also. But when I was a lay person, I ever heard uh, the few Shifu in front, then they are leading the chanting, right? Then there are others who we call it 抢枪. That means snatch the tune. Yeah. So so the Shifu chanting at a certain pace. Then they feel like it's too fast or too slow. Then they went overwhelm the sound. Imagine the Sifu with the mic, overwhelm it. Yeah. So so that's the thing. Yeah. You uh we don't do that. Yeah. And it's not simply because that one is Sifu. And of course there's that issue also. Yeah. More importantly, even among the Sangha, when we do chanting together, we don't do that. Yeah. Because in a monastery, in some monastery, we rotate the duties. So whoever is leading, we follow him. It's a very good practice to overcome your self-centeredness. Yeah, we always have this idea, my way of doing things. Yeah. That's why volunteering with Sifu is very chicham. Yeah. Because Sifu always spend hours explaining. Some volunteers may feel, "Aya, Sifu, you're Sifu ma, you just decide." Then I'm like, no. I it's not that I cannot decide. I can decide easily, but I must explain to you why this decision. Yeah, because in my opinion, It's more important to teach you all or to share with you all the principle behind. Yeah, why like that? Then you all know how to, once you all know the principle behind, when situations change, you know how to adapt to the new situation. Whereas if I say, 师傅 say A, you must do A. 师傅 say A, B, C, you must do A, B, C. Then if you encounter a situation that requires A, B, D, then how? Then you get stuck. Then you keep knocking your head. Dang, dang. But 师傅 say, then you all end up arguing among yourself. But 师傅 say A, B, C what? Cannot. Yeah, that's why 师傅 very troublesome. Yeah, have to explain. The other thing, the last thing I want to highlight, share with you is actually is a very interesting thing. For those who have attended the the 8 precepts in the past, you'll know that there's actually a lot of ceremony. But one part of the ceremony that you all don't usually see is that when you observe 8 precepts in our group, is that the Sifu will have a wooden block. Yeah, usually it's a wooden block. And then they will do this. Like before so they say like 先说受戒后先说戒相后受戒 then they will take that thing and is to call attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah, so first time you take whoa, what happened? Yeah, they will. Can you all hear the sound? Can yeah, so they will do this. 第一，不杀生是八关斋戒，汝等一日夜能吃否？能吃。Then then after that, well, it really brings gravity to the, yeah. And before you observe precepts, they will brief you and then tell you when you're observing the precepts, you're replying, you must reply loud and clear. Yeah. So the purpose of loud and clear is about your conviction. Yeah. Not half-heartedly. 能吃的. No. It's 能吃. Yeah. When we go and observe the triple platform precepts, 三坛大戒, the last one, so we retake Samanira, the novice precepts, then we take the Bhikshu precept, then the final one is the Bodhisattva precepts. The last 1 week to 2 weeks, 1.5 weeks or so, or 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks go through the Bodhisattva precepts and then share with us all the different stories of the masters and so on and so forth to both inspire us on the Bodhisattva path and also to impress upon us the gravity of the Bodhisattva path. Then after that they tell us when at the end of everything, then they will ask you, 汝是菩萨否? Are you a Bodhisattva? Then you must, then all 合掌, right? Then you must shout, 是菩萨! Yeah. Quite interesting. Yeah. It's it's about conviction. Yeah, it's about conviction. Yeah. And conviction is not a one-day thing. Yeah. So I want to comment on all of you. Yeah. To be convicted to the practice every day. Yeah. Some days maybe your sitting some days it feels like it's a good sitting. Some days it feels like it's a bad sitting. Don't be disheartened. Don't be disheartened when it's a bad sitting or when it feels like a bad sitting. Don't be elated when it feels like it's a good sitting. Yeah. If you feel elated when it feels like it's a good sitting, then you are setting yourself up for disappointment. setting yourself up for failure, because then the next sitting very likely is jialat. Very likely. I don't mean that this is a must, but if you get elated, then chances are the next sitting you do, you are sitting with anticipation. You're not doing your sitting anymore. You're sitting waiting for the good sitting. Then when you keep looking for good sitting, you're not sitting. So you don't have any sitting at all. But when you have a when you feel like you have a bad sitting, don't get disheartened also. Don't get disheartened. The Buddha attained enlightenment through many kalpa of bad sitting, you know. Yeah, Venerable Mahamoggallana, he is a chief disciple, chief in psychic power. Yeah, but when he started off, he was dozing off, you know. I mean, so with deepest respect for the chief disciples. Yeah, I always highlight him. Yeah, but to me, it's a, how do I put it? It's to me, it's very important that there are such records of the disciples' failings, yeah, and their struggle, because it makes our struggle more humanly possible. If you read about how all the disciples and the Buddha, they just sit around and somehow they attain enlightenment, then it's like, eh, but not that way for me, leh. How come when I sit, got this problem, got that problem? Yeah. So don't be disheartened, because the fact that you you wake up in the morning and then you commit the time to do your practice, that is admirable. Yeah, that is wholesome. Oh, that is worth sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yeah. So go forth and not kill anyone. Amitabha.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I, Apple conference, right? They will say, one more thing. Well, today I had to wake up a bit later because yesterday I know I must apologize to Louis, because Louis previously told me to go and with Sean to go and donate blood. But I told her that I already made arrangements. But in the end, I never go. Then yesterday I went with another student to go and donate. Then that student cannot donate. Why? Because the blood pressure too low. So, okay. Well, yesterday was quite scary, because the staff, the nurse of the person who is poking, right? He first checked this side, then he check. Like there were two persons who got seated around the same time as me, opposite me. When they finished, I'm still bumping, And the reason is because the person check, look here, look there. Then I'm like, well, it's cause huh? Number how many times? Then he's like, which side do you want? I'm like, you mean I get to choose? I'm like, any side. Then he said, maybe I look at your right side. Your left side cannot find the vein. I'm like, 我老呀，你嘴边个嘴冇边，我现在查这个马不会。You go to the right side. Then again, look. Then he go off. Then another one come, look. Then I was like, wow, then I look, yeah lah, because last time when I was in my 20s, do a lot of exercise, right? Then there's one tick vein over there. Now, what vein, one self also cannot find. Then later he put the anesthetic jab. Then after that, they cover. Then say wait for a while. Then wait. Then he came back. Then take out the sleeve, and then there's a big needle, right? And you put in. So usually, because I've been donating for over the past how many years now, so usually they just go in, that's it. Like before I could turn around, done, no. Then already, wow, blood all over. I mean, inside the pack, not outside. Then this time around, I still had time to turn around. When I turned around, right, you know what I saw? Imagine this is my arm. It was like that. 不会来不会去. It was like, and I could see and usually they go in somewhere in the middle here. He go in very far out and then put all the way in. So when he lift up, you can see the whole skin lift left. I was like, oh, 不要跟这个子进去. This one just got PDL or something. Then I was like, okay, I'm so sorry. Then finally, oh, okay, I got 出来了. Yeah. So today a bit outside. Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. So, have you all donated blood recently? Can try to go and donate blood. Yeah, but yesterday was quite funny also because when I was going through the screening, right? Try. Oh, when I was going through the screening, then the screener asked a lot of I mean, is their job to ask a question, right? Then after completing the whole thing, then she again flip around, then again ask some questions, repeat some questions. Then after that, she said that my blood pressure is on the high side. Then I'm like, how is it on the high side? So she really tightened up. Then I'm like, wow, look, you do so tight. Maybe that's why it's so high. She did like 2 or 3 times. And the thing is, when I finally clear it, right, she looked almost disappointed. Disappointed that I clear it, which is ironic, right? They are there to ensure that we qualify, but they should be happy. They should look happy, or they don't have to throw confetti and have whistles and bells, but at least they should. Congrats! Your blood pressure is okay now. You can go and But she looks almost. I She almost looked like she was sighing and said, "Ay, that's called 鬼嘞." So when I finish up, I go and give feedback. Yeah. I do this. I give good feedback. I also give the criticism feedback. So I said, I don't know, but the screener looked almost disappointed when I cleared the screening. Perhaps, wouldn't it be better if they look at least a bit more enthusiastic and encouraging that the person cleared the screening? It's like, how hard it is for a person to say, hey, I want to give up 450 milliliter of my blood. Okay, go. Don't kill anyone. Yeah. And if you all can, go and donate blood. Okay. Bye-bye.